These humans are guided by worldviews, religion, and faith. The institutions who run the money lending programs in the world today are, by majority, a certain group of people with a certain faith ideology. And because they run the lending and loan systems and processes and institutions, they are able to give preferential treatment based off of a religious worldview. That should bother you. Aren't we supposed to be in a world where we're supposed to be free of religious and political decision making in business?
Okay. Then,
Am I supposed to be discriminatory against you because you're of a different faith or religion? No, that's illegal.
okay, from the Goyim perspective,
That you are, brother.
It seems messed up.
You are. So, you used the word banks multiple times. Sounds like you're a talking head from the Daily Wire who will never actually say the underlying issue. And so, usury, this goes back to our podcast two or three podcasts ago, where policies and culture are being created and written from religious worldviews. So there's this religious idea called usury. When I say it's religious, it's not a religious idea. Usury was an issue for the religious back in the day. These people who were ultra religious were of what religious background, Matt, would you say?
small hats.
Were they small hats? So they were Semites. They were Semites. So the Semites and their religion said that you cannot you cannot do usury against your own people, other Semites. But you're allowed to do usury to the Gentiles and to the Goyim and to the pigs and the animals of the world. And so who runs most of the financial institutions, Matthew?
Well, we talked about that one time, and I got, if you don't remember, I got letters from Jewish attorneys saying that I was accusing me of defamation and of being anti-Semitic because I made a statement saying
A factual statement?
saying that Jews are in charge of banking.
You mean Semites?
And I said, you said Jews are in control of banking and law firms, and they came after me. A Jewish law firm came after me for saying that Jews manipulate the legal system. I was like, wait a second. Do you not see the obvious in what just happened here?
Yeah, blame Peter.
The irony?
You should blame Peter.
This is actually an extremely interesting podcast that just released a few days ago, and it's going viral right now. So basically, two Asian guys are just talking about a certain group of individuals that are exploiting people using the banking system. Guess who that group is? And they make some great points here, very similar to Dan Bilzerian, how they have preferential treatment towards themselves and different treatment to others. And I was actually very surprised when listening to this podcast. It's an hour long. I shortened it up to only around 20 minutes. If you enjoy that, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's continue.
So now I'm going to bring up something that's going to offend a lot of people.
Amazing.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I have a friend. His name is Mari. I don't think he watches this, but Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. He's helped me with some of my banking considerations and some of my SEC FINRA stuff when I was submitting my venture fund for submission to the SEC and all that stuff. So good guy, respectable guy. What I love about him in all of his Jewishness is his absolute candor about the benefits that he receives of being a Semite.
At least he owns it.
And he owns it. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get zero interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business, for 0 interest.
Really?
Look it up. I was, Mari, when Mari told me this, I was deeply offended. Deeply offended. I have to pay interest on all of my loans. The amount of, I'm a venture capitalist. I deal in millions of dollars of other people's money. Those interest payments are suffocating. If I was a Semite, I would pay 0 interest on all of it. So you tell me, you tell me, are there religious doctrines that are being exacted for the benefit of one people group over everybody else?
I got a question.
And it's very simple why usury is banned in actually most major religions. Usury or interest is basically what it does is it makes the rich richer and the poor poorer, and it's predatory. And most religions actually don't allow anyone to do it. However, a certain religion allows you to do it, but allows you to do it to other people and not to your own.
Mari would tell you if he were sitting right here. He's got long, curly Jewish hair. Funny guy. If he was sitting here today, he would answer the question plainly to your face. He would say, it's because your mom and dad, your culture, didn't teach you that we are the chosen, you are not. Because we are chosen, we have to create provisions for the succession of our people and our nation. And according to our laws and to the doctrines and the worldviews and the books, the Talmud and the Torah that we read, you, Peter, and he would literally point at me with no facetiousness. He would say, you are dog shit.
Works for them.
It's not baked into the culture. Korean culture, you and I in Korean culture, if we were born in Seoul or born in Busan or in Korea somewhere, our parents don't grow us up with a worldview that you are better than everyone else. And so therefore you need to protect your people. We have a cultural caring, a high society of trust culture where we're loving, we care for each other and all that stuff. And you can find great Korean communities all over America, for example. But the thing that we don't have as a Korean culture is that one level deeper, where it's like, you are special, you are more important than anybody else. We're going to raise you with this ideology. And frankly, when you go to, Sunday temple or Saturday temple and you hang out with the leader there, he's going to tell you things that are going to back up what we tell you at home, which is everyone else is dog shit. You are God's chosen, and you need to understand that in all of your decision making, that whenever you engage with a Gentile, whenever you engage with a Goyim, whenever you engage with someone who is not of us, you should make decisions that you benefit from that they don't. Mari would tell you that to your face.
The concept.
This is insane because it's very, very similar to what Dan Bilzerian was saying in that interview I posted with him and Bradley Martin. And for those that don't know, a Gentile is someone who is not Jewish, and then Goyim is a plural word of that.
Of usury, if people aren't familiar with the term, is the idea of loaning with interest.
Yes.
And the reality is that biblically it says don't loan with interest.
Yeah.
It's something that early
In the Quran too.
Christians did not do.
Yeah.
Actually, it was banned and outlawed to loan money with interest.
Yes.
And the Jews in their
The Talmud.
They say that you cannot lend money to other Jews with interest.
Yep.
You can only lend it to Gentiles.
Yes, or the Goyim.
Or the Goyim. And this was a problem in society for thousands of years. It was outlawed. You couldn't do it. Even in early Roman days, you couldn't do it. Even in Christ's time, you couldn't do it. Actually, when Jesus goes into the temple and he overthrows the tables, it was people trying to loan money for offering with interest.
Yeah, and that was people might miss that, but that was the real point. Is Jesus went into the temple and said, "You've made my temple a den of thieves and vipers, and you're doing and you're charging interest. That was the issue, is that they're making money on money off of other people.
It was not necessarily the commerce. It was more of the interest
Yes,
because it was very predatory.
very predatory.
Well, in the United States, what they did was it used to be highly regulated, meaning that you could only charge so much interest. But the thing about interest and banks and greed is that over time, we get into these credit card type of interest, 25% APR, which is crazy, by the way. You can loan money on a car based on a car you don't own. You can loan money. Dude, you can loan money to buy rims for your car now.
So what you're essentially saying is, because of this this opportunity, this model of usury, we as humans have figured out how to create abstractions of this in so many ways that usury and loaning and earning interest on money to do things is everywhere, is what you're saying. Come on, man. You're an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. You're a successful business builder. You can do the math, the paper napkin math of how much money you've paid on loans to make your business successful. And there is a reality in which if you were a certain type of people group, you would have paid nothing on those loans. And I would take a gander and say, it's even a guarantee. If we did back testing on your data and your financials, you probably paid millions of dollars easily. Millions of dollars that you didn't have to pay if you were of
It's
the
so
right.
sickening if you think about it.
I think usury is okay objectively within constraints, meaning that this cannot be a mechanism where I can get filthy rich off you, number one. And number two, you can't get so far in a hole that you can't dig yourself out.
But the problem with a lot of the institutional lending is that the banks loan you money and they actually don't have the cash to loan it to you.
Well, that's the fractional reserve banking that we live under, yeah.
They loan you money they don't have.
Yeah,
They are taking your money to loan me money.
yeah,
But they still owe you that money because it's your money.
yes,
So they are generating money out of thin air
yes.
and they are loaning it to you, collecting interest on it. They don't have it. That system itself seems extremely broken and corrupt.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
if you have $10, how do you loan out 11?
That's essentially how the banking system works, and even insurance, actually. So what they do is they have your money, and then they don't technically, it's not technically in the accounts. Once you give your money and you deposit, they invest it somewhere else. They give out loans, they invest in properties, businesses. Insurance companies do the same thing, and that's they assume they're going to make a profit on that, and they will always have cash available for when you need it. But if everyone wants to go to the bank and to withdraw all of their money, they would not have the money for it. That's the crazy part.
But Mari, thank you, my man from decades ago, who let me into this. I was deeply offended, and he just laughed in my face and said, "Hey, you should have just been part of the chosen people."
It's legit.
It's legit.
Wow. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Look at this. Non-Jews and loans. They make it clear you can go to any bank. You can find the hidden links to find this documentation because they have to have it. Yep. If you're a Semite and you go to a bank and you're like, "Hey, I need to build a house. I need $700,000." They'll look at you and you'll do a little bit of paperwork, and then they'll give you $700,000, zero interest to build that house.
Do we need one? I mean, now I understand why you're saying, "Oh, maybe I'll get a Jewish partner."
Yeah, because we can build businesses for zero interest.
So what I'm actually very interested in is that nowadays a lot of Muslims have similar products too, where they have technically no interest loans. But what they do is they just change the verbiage of them, and it becomes a contract where they kind of become investors, and they have their own fees anyways. So I wonder if it's something like that where it ends up being pretty dang similar. I mean, I'm just trying to be fair here and play devil's advocate. I don't know if it's truly just interest-free money.
In perpetuity.
If the Jews can do it to take care of their own, why don't other communities or other ethnicities or other countries or other groups of people, why don't they do it amongst themselves? For example, in Korean society, it is built on extremely high interest loans for the population. The whole country is swimming in high interest debt. In America, I just saw Gen Z is 45% of Gen Z is in uncontrollable credit card debt.
Yep.
That's at 23% a
Yep.
year. We are drowning in debt. Why don't we create scenarios and situations where we also give each other low interest or no interest loans? Because I remember,
If you enjoy videos like these where I shorten up an hour-long podcast into 15, 20 minutes, just so you get to see the highlights and you don't have to waste your time and go watch the whole entire thing, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you really want to support me, a lot of these videos become demonetized or shadow banned by YouTube based on the topic that they're on. Feel free to become a member. It's only $2.99 a month. The link will be in the description below. It's not that much, but it's a kind gesture, and I really do appreciate the support that will bring to me. And now let's continue.
I think it was just a year ago where that Silicon Valley Bank was going under,
Yep.
and the government bailed them out.
Yeah.
And it was big news, and everyone in the news was talking about it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to them?
Well, you don't need to go far to find that the owners and operators of all of these,
They all got their money.
they're all Semites,
Mm.
right? And they have to help their own. It's part of their dogma. It's part of their religious worldview, man. Like people are so ignorant of this fact. It's like, no, policies aren't being made based on, polls. Policies are being made based on religious fundamentals sometimes.